So I put up a poll yesterday on my channel asking everyone if they planned on getting a Venom pinball machine. Well, the results are in, and I've got another data point now that confirms the majority of people don't want it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel where I talk and do everything pinball, especially to the over 8,000 of you that have decided to hit that subscribe button down below. Now, it's been over a week since Venom was released. Since then, we've had the Premium streamed, we've had the Pro streamed. So, what all has changed since then? I would say hype. Hype has definitely dwindled down on this particular title. Now, if you look at the Pinside charts for the hype thread, that's what it's there for, is to get all hyped up, excited, and all the potential buyers are there to chit-chat back and forth about what they like or don't like about this game. And as you can see, the hype thread on Pinside has already waned. Pinball Enthusiast page on Facebook hasn't had a Venom-related post in, I want to say, at least 4 days. And honestly, I haven't seen a Venom-related post in the last couple of days. And the posts that I have seen are from the distros out there that state they just had a LE spot open up. Spoiler alert, if you see posts like this, that means that that particular distributor has gone down their typical LE buyers list, or even the people that at first stated they want to get the LE for their game, and so they've reached out to these individuals, and some, or a lot more than they were expecting, said no. Now, recent polling data shows that all of your major distributors out there have LEs available. And not just your LEs, but even the first run of premiums are available, which doesn't really mean a good thing for Stern. And especially doesn't mean a good thing for the distros out there, because allegedly, Stern really bullies their distros into taking a certain amount of machines, whether it be LEs or premiums or whatever. Whether the demand is there or not, allegedly, Stern is riding those distros to accept the allotment that they are issued. So imagine that there is 1,000 limited editions for Venom, and the demand isn't there for them. People don't really care if they get an LE for this game or not. That's not a good thing for the distros out there that really have to fork up the cash first. So the hype is already on the downward slope. Well, maybe that's because people have already put in their order, and now it's just the waiting game for them to receive their game. Nope. Now, I'm well aware that the numbers I'm about to show you are merely a small fraction of potential buyers. But the thing is, these numbers and graphs are pretty much close to identical. So that kind of gives you an idea that even if you were to spread this for everyone to respond that is in this hobby, the chances are those numbers would still correlate and equal the same, just on a larger scale. So let's just go straight to Pinside. Pinside here, let me bring it up. Pinside has the question at the top of their hype thread stating, "Are you in?" And 72% say not for me, with a total vote of 639. Then we'll go over to This Week in Pinball, and they also have a poll that shows that the majority is in the no. Then you also have the poll that I put up yesterday. Let me refresh to see if it's changed any. So currently we are at a total of 265 votes. 88% of those people state no. But why? Well, the most common answer? Money. Yeah, it would seem that this game is potentially the turning point for buyers. I mean, the prices have gone up year over year. And I want to say the first game to take the big price hike was Bond, that shot the Pro up to over 7,000. And that game had really awful code at launch, but it had a very strong theme, and it still sold very well. and I think a part of that was due to the Gomez design. Then after that, we had Foo Fighters, which sold tremendously well. Demand was very high, but it had the full package. You had the art, you had a matured code, you had a very original layout in comparison to what we've been seeing. So it didn't really have any kind of negative effect when it comes to the price being in the 7K region for your pros. And now they announced Venom. And people are saying no. So some of the comments I have include, and are not limited to, the last price increase was too much. 6K for a pro is ridiculous, but acceptable. 7K, I won't do. I want Venom, but this game also requires premium, which makes it unattainable. Honestly, with these insane prices, I don't see myself buying a new game anytime soon. It looks fast and fun, but my price range is the pro, and it looks way too barren to justify that price. The machine looks real cool, but at these prices, I do not dare acquire one. Plus, I have no knowledge on how to maintain them anyway. 10K for premium hurts. Dream themes only for me moving forward. Not getting it. I'd like to, but the hobby is just too expensive to keep buying modern, and I like my other games. Now, these are just a few comments. There's many more on Pinside going through all the pages. I mean, it's all worded differently, but they're all the same. Essentially, they do not want to pay the prices that Stern has in store, at least on this game. Because if you look at the differences between the premium and the pro, you're getting all the cool stuff on the premium, and you're still getting the high price for the pro. Venom Pro is not worth $7,000. Now, obviously, worth is subjective. But when you have the what looks to be vast majority of people in this hobby agreeing by looking at the pro during the stream, and people in person at San Diego Comic-Con can look at these two games and go, the pro looks very stripped down, but yet the price is still $7,000. And I remember asking people recently, I'm like, if they price their pros at, like, let's say 5K, their premiums at 7, and their limited editions at 9, would that change your mind on buying a Venom? Everyone said yes, they would be on board for a 5K pro or a 7K premium. That was the spot that everyone was agreeing with, like, yeah, I could get behind that. So you've got a $7,000 pro that is pretty damn barren. All you have is your lanes, nothing interesting mechanically wise except for the fast locks or quick locks that they have on left and right. And then you have the premium, which has all the goods, but you're looking at a $10,000 price tag. And this game is going to be highly dependent on the code carrying it to make it interesting. Because whether you like it or not, fan layouts all shoot the same. And it cracks me up watching some of you out there trying to compare this game to other games. One of them being No Fear. Look at it. It's a replica of No Fear. I mean, even though No Fear has an upper flipper with a whole other shot up there, but whatever. It's still the fact that you're wanting to compare a fan layout to another fan layout. It's dumb. You're basically, when you put up a game with a fan layout and want to compare it to another game with a fan layout, and you state, look, they're the same, you're making yourself look dumb. Think about that. Yes, there's definitely similarities on the non-fan layouts, but that's at least a little more valid because there's definitely differences in the shots and stuff. But a fan layout to a fan layout, there's a reason why they call it that. And to say that they're the same, duh. I mean, but there's also some people out there that are iffy about the code, that you're able to progress and level up. And some people don't know if they like the whole idea of being able to pick up where you left off. It's obviously mixed feelings on that, and they're curious about the replayability of it down the line. And then you have the locked characters that you can unlock by completing certain tasks. And whenever I see that there is locked content, that immediately starts waving a little bit of a red flag that all we're merely doing at this point now is just turning the water up a little bit more. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about when I say that, I made a video over a year ago when Insider Connected first launched, talking about the frog in the water and stuff like that. I'll put a link in the video in the description down below if you have not seen it, but this is merely just the slow onset of DLC that's going to be happening in the future. I mean, it's almost inevitable at this point. But anyways, the main issue I have with code at this point is just in the battles. There's not much to them at this current point. This obviously can change over time, so I'm stating as of right now, the issue I have is that there's not much risk. You get into a mode with somebody, and if your level is lower than your opponent, all the risk is that you have to make more shots in order to defeat them. The only risk during a battle is you running out of time. That's it. But every time you make a shot, you get time added. So where's the risk really in this? Because your opponent never hits you back. You watch the stream again. Go ahead, prove me wrong. But I never saw your opponent strike you back or anything. The only health bar is at the top, and it's the opponent's health bar. So they're basically a punching bag during battle mode. Edit right here. I had a feeling that there was definitely something when it comes to the battle mode that I probably didn't remember, and that is that, yes, evidently, and it may be only Grendel that does this because that's where I'm only seeing it in this playback video of the premium, but he does attack at one point and causes your flippers to reverse, which I think is pretty cool. Little stuff like that. But that seems to be the only time that I have seen an opponent fight back or do anything, and that is just at that particular moment. So maybe it's in the code, but I just don't know if it's in there enough. So that's my edit. Anyways, back to it. And the only thing that changes the battle is what level you are and how many shots you're going to have to make. But there's no risk, except for just running out of time. Where I feel like if you're wanting to make it more of an RPG, like the video games, like you seem to be doing, Dwight, then I would say then you need to add more risk to this. So if you're lower level than your opponent, then I think you should have only 1 or 2 shots that are going to actually count towards, like, going further into the battle. And there should be much more shots that would count against you, whether it be you lose time or you take damage, but I think the fight should definitely be more difficult than just having to make more shots to beat them. It's the same ordeal when you play any other RPG video game. If you walk into an area that you're under-leveled for, it's not that you're going to have to spend more time killing these enemies, it's the fact that also when the enemies hit you, you're probably going to get one-shotted or just not be able to beat them. And so what gives you the ability and the want is, you know what, I'm not ready to fight this person yet or these monsters yet. I'm going to go level up, get stronger, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to start stomping some faces, hopefully. But as of right now, I don't see the current code for battle modes implementing anything like that. So in a nutshell, there just needs to be more risk in the battle mode. If you're under level, then there should only be a couple of shots that actually count towards defeating them, whereas every other shot actually counts against you to lose time. And if you're above them, I could definitely see how you have more shots available and the battle should be easier. You've got that. You just need it to be more difficult and basically higher risk if you're under leveled. I think that would be more interesting if you get into a battle with somebody and you know that you're under-leveled for it. Like, this is going to be a tough one because I'm under-leveled. But when I was watching it on the beginning of the premium, they were under-leveled, but there was still so many shots that were available to hit, and the only negative was that you might run out of time if you don't hit them. But that's all. That's all I have to state about code. That's my only issue. But back to the main reason for this video. I mean, I've got a list here of just, 4 most common reasons people are not purchasing Venom. Number 1, the price is too high. Number 2, it's not a theme that speaks to them, not a theme that they love. It's not a theme that they feel is worth spending all that money for, kind of thing. Theme is important to a lot of people, and this is just not a theme that they care for. Number 3, people are starting to get Marvel fatigue. And this is not just on the pinball level either. This is talking about pinball movies, Disney Plus just pumping out those Marvel TV shows, most of them of which do not have the viewership that they used to whenever they first started doing these things. It's just that I think people in general are just kind of getting tired of the whole Marvel stuff. They just kind of need a break. Everywhere they look, it's Marvel this, Marvel that. And number 4, better options are currently available or will be available in the near future. I mean, we're currently pretty saturated with pinball machine options because we had a bunch of them that came out in March. We have obviously a few more coming out before the end of the year. And currently, people look at a $7,000 Baron Pro for Venom that's not a theme that speaks to them as like, no, I'll hold on to my money at least for this game and see what's going to happen next. I mean, what if this is the turning point? What if Venom is the beginning of an economic shift in Stern's pricing? I mean, will it take one game with low sales for them to, change their whole pricing? Oh, God, no. That's the good thing and bad thing about Stern is that they are able to pump out games at a rapid pace, and if that particular game doesn't sell very well, then they'll just move on to the next one. So if Venom is considered a failure, or, not selling as well as they at least planned it to, then they'll just move on to the next game. The only thing that's going to cause them to change the way they have things priced is like a full year of a trend of downward sales. That would definitely trigger them to go, okay, we need to make some changes. So just so we're clear, I'm not telling you to not buy Stern Pinball. I'm merely stating that I feel like this is going to be a game that people are going to be trying before they buy. And the thing is, it's going to be difficult to try this because we got a whole month ahead of us of this game not being shipped out. It's going to be at the Southern Fried Gaming Expo. That's the next point in time where you'll be able to play it. But after that, they're not going to be shipping out the pros to these locations until September. So it's mainly going to be up to Stern over the next month or so to keep the hype going for Venom. So let me know what you think about all this in the comments section down below, guys. I mean, how do I feel about it? I mean, I definitely don't want it because the same reasons why everyone's listed. It's the price. I look at the Venom Pro and I go, that looks like it's a home pin that has been stripped of so much, and then they want to ask me for $7,000 for it. And it's not a theme that speaks to me, so there's two of the most common reasons right there. I just don't think it's worth it for what you're seeing in this game. Like, yeah, it's fast, but fast doesn't immediately mean the game's going to be good. Oh my god. Still have to edit this, and then I've got work in the morning, so this is going to suck.